So this week's Church Beyond the Building video is slightly different than things that we've talked about in the past, and there's really two things we need to talk about. The first one starts actually with a story about my parents. So my parents were really excited when they took this call, and early on they came to a service. They live out of state, but they're in town on a pretty regular basis, and so they came, the service was good, and they wanted to come poke around. And they did, and they started to wander around and see what was where, and they made their way down into the basement, and that's actually where things went awry because they ended up getting lost. Julie Chen found them, and she rescued them and got them out of the basement and then gave them a tour of the rest of the building, which was great. And they were very appreciative because they were going literally in circles trying to find their way out. And it shows one of the tensions that we have here as a community, right? There are a lot of great things that come with being part of an institution that's 174 years old. We've got a great legacy and impact and mission, but we've got some downsides too, and one of which is our facility, which is in great shape, but because of all the renovations and growth that we have had over the years, can sometimes be hard to manage and is functionally easy to get lost in. And that's true especially when you're new, when feeling like you can find your way around is oddly important. And what's funny about that is when we think about it, finding your way isn't necessarily just about feeling comfortable, it's really an issue of hospitality, which is something I feel like I know on a regular basis as someone with little kids, where we occasionally need to find the bathroom in a very short period of time. It's not about comfort as it is about being welcomed into a space where I can hear and engage, right? And that's what the scriptures actually command us to. They tell us that we need to be people of hospitality in places like Hebrews 13. And that's one of the things that we've been working on as a congregation and as a leadership team, is finding ways to make our buildings and gatherings more hospitable so that when new people come, and they continue to come, they can not only find the bathrooms, but can be relaxed, at ease, and feel accepted in order to hear the gospel that we're presenting. And in order to do that, of making things more hospitable, we need your help. We're asking you to help fill out a survey about how you encounter our physical space in this place. What's easy and good? Where are there places that create tension for you? And that will inform how we make this place more hospitable, more welcoming, where you can walk in and feel easy and comfortable. And we'd love for you to complete that survey by February 17th, if at all possible. We aren't doing some major renovation. This isn't some subtle way to do anything big. We just want to know what works and what doesn't, so we can be intentional and try to relieve some of those tension points and build in spaces where, again, we can be hospitable in the way that we are as a community, so that we can represent Christ and represent Christ well. There's one other quick thing I needed to tell you about in this week's Church Beyond the Building video, and that's really a reflection of what happened last Sunday. So last Sunday, Dan Ackerman and Dirk Wheeldryer from the classes came, and they talked about what's called Vision 2020, which are denominational conversations we're having. It's really a 2-week presentation. So last week they came and they presented a bunch of information. This next week they'll come and it's going to be a Q&A question time. So they're not going to present anything anymore. We're going to come and just answer what questions we have. So if you want to come this week, we'd love for you to come join us, and we'd love for you to submit any questions you have ahead of time so that Dan and Dirk can be prepared and thoughtful to that. If you could, we ask you to email those to firstchurch@frcz.org, and if you can do that by Friday morning sometime, that makes everybody's life easier. If you can't think of it till later, that's fine. But yeah, we just wanted to let you know that last Sunday was the presentation and this Sunday is the Q&A, as we continue to explore what it looks like around the denomination and the Reformed Church in America, and how that impacts how we live out our sense of mission and call. So that's really what we want to talk about today, a call towards hospitality and an invitation and ask to help us make this place more hospitable so we can represent Christ well when we gather in the building and in the space. And 2, to just continue to be in prayer and thoughtful discernment around what does Vision 2020 look like for us as a denomination and its impact on us as a local church. Not massive decisions that need to happen now, but conversations that we're beginning and are going to continue to talk about. So we want to invite you to do that and just generally be the people of prayer that you are in the midst of times of excitement or times of trial. Thank you for being you and for being the community that we are. Grace and peace, friends. Have a good week.